Greetings and welcome back to Moving Right Along, a Muppet movie podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com. This is the podcast where we watch Muppet Treasure Island 2 minutes at a time and talk about it a lot. I'm your host, Ryan Rowe.
I am your other host, Anthony Strand.
And our extremely special guest from last week is back, one of our favorite guests. Guest, who are you?
I'm Leslie Carrara-Rudolph. Hi.
Hi.
Still here.
Yeah, Bill had to head out, but we're very happy to have you back.
Thank you so much.
And this week we are talking about minutes 73 and 74 of Muppet Treasure Island, in which Mr. Arrow is still alive and Kermit and Piggy talk about old wounds. So we pick up here with Rizzo finishing his thought from last time, telling Jim that swimming to the ship is not a good plan. But then Jim sees something in the distance. It's another jolly boat, and it's being rowed by none other than Mr. Arrow, played by Sam the Eagle.
One of the things I love is, if you see this in the movie theater, this is such a crowd-pleasing moment.
Yeah.
Like, people are so happy to see him back, which is wild because it's Sam the Eagle. Like,
right. Yeah, like,
you know what I mean?
The most popular Muppet, Sam the Eagle.
Yeah, people are just hooting and hollering to see Sam back. He didn't die.
Yeah. So I forgot to check how much screen time it's been since he disappeared. But how long do you think he's just been floating around in the ocean?
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, it was right before the mutiny, right?
Yeah, it was pretty soon before they found the island.
Yeah,
right.
So his funeral is in minutes 51 or 52. So the scene where Long John tricks him is 49 or 50. So it's been like 23-ish minutes of screen time since he drifted off.
I never thought. I mean, that's one of those things. Like, you knew we were going to see him again. You
didn't think they really killed him off.
No.
They're not going to kill Sam the Eagle.
No.
I mean, dead Tom's always been dead.
Yeah.
Right.
Sam the Eagle was alive last time we saw him.
He's resilient. Yeah.
Alive, Sam. Yeah. Alive, Mr. Arrow. So, and then we can hear him mumbling to himself as he rows the boat. He's still verifying the safety of the gunnel and the keel of the boat. So he's just been this entire time just nonstop checking all the parts of the boat to make sure they're safe. So this shot of him rowing the boat looks really good because you can see the whole ocean and he's in the boat. You can see most of his body. And his arms are moving, rowing the boat. It's real water. I don't know exactly how they did this.
I do. I talked to Bill. That was one of the reasons I sent him this picture, and I'm like, tell me about this. Was this like, because what happens is you're like, oh, this is not animatronic. It's not one of those things. And then you see him come out into the water. Mm-hmm. He comes out to greet him, right? So you're not like, wait a second, now he's in water. This is definitely in water, and he's definitely in a boat.
You're talking about the shot where Jim goes to...
Yeah, where Jim goes to meet him, and he goes into the water. That's what makes it so impressive. You're like, oh, so this isn't like a green screen shot. This isn't something like they're in water. And like Bill told us, there was a tank. There was literally a water tank.
Right.
And here's what I found out. I go, so was Frank in there? And he goes, that was Kevin.
Okay.
Oh, sure. Okay.
So Kevin was doing Sam Eagle.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you think about, he goes, Kevin did so much in this, So that might have to do with the Polly thing, like he was like everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
That would be great to talk to Kev about that.
Yeah. Our understanding is that he played Frank's characters other than Piggy most of the time.
Yeah.
In the movie, like on set.
Yeah, that's correct. So, and he says, no, Kevin was in there. He was lying in the boat like this,
Okay.
So, so he probably, just laying down with the monitor.
Very uncomfortable, I'm sure.
Incredibly uncomfortable. Unless, and I can't imagine them doing, just very uncomfortable.
Yeah. And there is a cut from the first time they see him. It cuts to Jim, and then it cuts back, and he's closer to them. So I assumed like they shot it a couple different ways, and then just composited the shot differently to make him look closer to the beach.
Yeah, unless the first part was like radio control, but I don't know.
Yeah, it still has that sort of smooth movement, like it's the puppet. So yeah, nice. So Gonzo, Rizzo, and Jim call out to him. He says, boys, come join me aboard this exceptionally safe little boat. Which, it's a very safe boat. It's been holding up all this time. And then he says, by the way, that silver fellow may not be trustworthy. So this is something we were wondering about, is did Sam realize that Long John Silver was, trying to pull one over on him? So he figured it out eventually.
Yeah, I think only after he'd been at sea for a long time.
Yeah, that's
absolutely safety first. I mean, I think he's very single-minded, like you give him a job, like boom,
Yeah. So then that's pretty much it for this part of the clip. Anything else about this Sam in the boat part of the minutes before we move on?
I mean, I will say, I guess I could open up the strange case early and say that in the book, Mr. Arrow does not come back. There is.
Oh, right, because he fell overboard drunk in the book, right?
Mr. Arrow falls overboard drunk in the book, right? And is just well and truly dead. Yeah. So Leslie, maybe you didn't know this. We found this out. I'm reading the book along with the movie. He is just like a terrible man who's bad at his job and yells at the crew all the time, and then like gets drunk, may or may not have been drugged. It's inconclusive. Seems like Silver, slipped him something in his drink and pushed him overboard. And then he's dead. That's what happens to Mr. Arrow in the book.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's no scene where he comes back in a rowboat and is like, "Oh, hello, Jim. It's me, Mr. Arrow."
And the people reading the book cheer.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot different.
Wow, it might be like that Hollywood moment, like, well, we can't, Sam Eagle is too refined of an actor, we can't do that to him or something. That's what I love about this film is like, I feel like they cast everybody. Like, again, I mentioned it in the last podcast. It's like, you think of the cattle call of all these Muppet extras going into the job. And like, the fact that I love that Sam Eagle is like, no, we can't kill him off. So I think I love that the Muppets just are like, no, Sam, we can't kill Sam,
And it allows for this moment where he kind of comes back to help save the good guys.
Yeah, of course. So.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah, it's like it is the longest callback joke ever, right?
Yeah, it's just long enough for the audience to forget about him.
Yeah.
There's other movies that do that where a character, like at the last minute, shows up to, knock out the bad guy when the bad guy is about to, hurt the good guy. But yeah.
Well, I think it really, really helps that we meet Miss Piggy in between. Like, I think that's a big part of the reason we forget about Sam dying.
Oh yeah, we're dazzled.
Is because it's like Piggy is in the movie finally.
Yes,
yes, and that's a thrill.
Right. And speaking of Piggy, next we cut to a grotto with a lot of vegetation. We see Piggy as Benjamina Gunn sitting on a rock. She's sort of tapping her foot angrily and glaring at Kermit as Captain Smollett. This is a really cool set, by the way. I just love all this stuff. But before anything happens in this scene, a group of the rat tourists passes through right in the foreground. They're on a tour. They're taking a tour of the island. The guide is holding a flag with a skull and crossbones on it, which is very funny. This is a pirate-themed cruise, even before they actually knew for sure that the crew of the ship was pirates. They were having fun on a pirate cruise.
Well, she says this is where they shot the film, right?
Right.
I think so. It'd still be a cruise, but they could be like, it'd still be, I don't think, is it pirate theme the whole time?
When they were boarding the ship, Rizzo said, "It's what is it called? Is it called Pirate Cruises? We put the rat in Pirate.
Pirate Cruise Limited. We put the rat in Pirate. Yeah.
Okay, so it is.
Yeah.
So it is. But what cracks me up is like this is where they're shooting the film.
Her line is, and here is a photo opportunity you will not want to miss. The actual jungle location from the movie Muppet Treasure Island. With that inflection, Island.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do we know who voiced that character?
Oh, I couldn't quite tell.
I did ask Bill if, and I know it's not her. I did ask Bill if Louise Gould worked on the film, because it was shot in London.
Yeah, she did work on the movie. We heard her earlier. Yeah, like at least
I
on the.
Think that's Louise.
On the.
I was wondering if that was Luke. He goes, "Was it Jerry?" And I go, "No." So I don't know who that was.
Yeah, now I'm trying to hear it again in my head. I almost want to say it's like a Steve Whitmire voice, but I don't know. I'd have to listen to it again.
I'm not sure. The rats are my favorite part of this. This is the. I talked about this in the other podcast about there's so many different layers in this film. It's so dense with this, and it's great storytelling because you can follow. It's like one of those themed. I never saw Sleep No More, but when you can like follow people on their different track and have a different adventure, there's the rat adventure, there's the pirate adventure, there's the, the island adventure, So I just love it how there's like, it's not even like the cruise. It's the fourth wall. It's not even the third wall. Cause now they're making a nod that they're making a movie.
Right. Yeah. Which they don't do. I mean, they do that a lot in Muppet movies, but there aren't a lot of times in this one where they reference the fact that they're making a movie.
It's a side to the audience, but they're not doing a side to the audience.
Right.
Well, I mean, like Rizzo says, I thought this was supposed to be a kid's movie earlier.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, because the tour guide says the movie Muppet Treasure Island, they do say the title out loud in the movie, which makes us 4 for 5 so far on saying the title out loud in the movie.
Oh. So wait, Manhattan was the one that they don't say the title?
Yeah, no, they never say the Muppets take Manhattan in that movie. When would they,
You're right.
But
right.
Statler and Waldorf say we're here to heckle the Muppet movie. Kermit says the Great Muppet Caper when the title comes on screen.
Reading the credits, yeah.
Yeah, and Gonzo says, "Welcome to the Muppet Christmas Carol" at the very start.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and then now this rat tour guide says it. Okay. And I believe the 2011 movie, which is they say the Muppets 1,000 times because that's the name of the movie.
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
I think that's the only right. They never say Muppets Most Wanted. They never say Muppets from Space.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, especially because Muppets Most Wanted was a last minute title change. I don't think they would have.
Right. If it was called the Muppets again, they would say it because it's in that opening song.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was just going to say that on that note of having all these layers of characters, even as all this danger is happening, the rats are just always kind of detached from it. They're just having fun. They're just and that's very funny.
Oh yeah, I love all the dancing and the like. they're being like the buffet. When people are being tortured. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah. And then my other notes on this, one of the rats is wearing a shirt that has this banana pattern. It's just like it's a blue shirt with a bunch of bananas all over it. Very fun. I would like a shirt like that.
Oh, wow. For banana shirts. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if they make rat shirts in my size, but, and then as they're leaving, one of them says, "Hey, when do we eat?" And another says, "My feet are killing me." So I always just love those little, I'm sure those are ad libs by the performers.
Of course, because that's what you say when you're on a cruise. There's a constant buffet.
Yeah,
and you're walking everywhere. These are the right shoes. How long is this tour? I don't know. Let's go. Let's go to the buffet.
Yeah, so I always just love catching those little lines. So Piggy and Kermit. Piggy is not happy. She says to Kermit, "Of all the backwater, no class piles of sand in the ocean, you had to wash up on mine."
Brilliant.
Which is maybe, probably, possibly a reference to Casablanca.
Yeah.
Oh, I think definitely is.
Yeah.
Over Casablanca, yeah.
Humphrey Bogart laments that of all the gin joints in all the towns in all the world, she walks into mine.
Yes.
Yeah. Kermit says, Benjamina, I just want you to know that I'm sorry. But she's not having it. She says, sorry? No, sorry doesn't cut it. You left me standing at the altar.
And that's the first time we find that out.
Yeah, it's true. We have some vague... by this point, we know that they know each other. We saw her picture on his desk.
He
and
just
her voice
raised
too.
the stakes. Like,
yeah,
she just upped the stakes. And also, too, it's like in earnest, he genuinely cares for her. And most of the movies, it's like he does, but he genuinely is sorry, you know?
Yeah.
This is, I mean, it's a real, like, once they meet each other, the movie becomes a romantic comedy every time they're together.
Yeah.
You know? And it's a real, like, Cary Grant and Katharine Hepburn divorce getting back together comedy or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
and Kermit and Piggy's relationship is always complicated. And we talk about how maybe they're really not that good for each other. But in this case, it seems pretty clear that, I mean, they're playing characters, but it seems pretty clear that Kermit is in the wrong. He left her at the altar and disappeared.
Yeah, I got, you're supposed to have cold feet. I got cold feet, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it was lemon-filled cake, for God's sakes.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, we're going to get to that in a second. I love her delivery on that line.
Yeah.
So this all has to be Frank Oz on the set, right? Doing Piggy, because this,
it is. I checked with Bill.
Okay, great. Yeah, good to know. So, and then she spins around from him to face away from him and taps her foot again. This is reminiscent of some other stuff we've seen, like in Muppets Take Manhattan when she's mad at him, and Great Muppet Caper when she's upset.
Yeah, she does that a lot. She does a lot of not looking at you. She does a lot of like, I'm talking to you with the back of my head. It's I just love the upset Piggy body language. It just makes her seem very real. And then so Kermit, cosmopolitan outfit. Doesn't she look like she's on the cover of Cosmo? And I think she was.
Yes.
I think she was in that outfit because I remember having it. I have my Miss Piggy, the cover that it came in, the sleeve that it came in. Frank Oz signed it to me on Muppets Night.
Nice.
So,
nice.
Love.
And this costume that she wears in this movie, there's a Piggy photo puppet that's on display somewhere wearing this costume, right?
It's Center for Puppetry Arts.
Okay, so that's in
Atlanta. At least it was there when I went there in 2014. I can say that at least.
I saw it there maybe in 2018. I'm not sure when I went, but yeah, it's probably still there. And Kermit says he was on a ship headed for Zanzibar. He got cold feet. This is when she says, you're a frog. You're supposed to have cold feet. And she goes on, my mother came all the way from France. I was wearing her white lace dress.
So do we think that Benjamina Gunn is really from France? Like, are we taking her word for it that her mother lives in France and came for the wedding?
Yes.
You think so?
All of it. I just thought that this is such an up the stakes. Like this happened. We talked about this. This was planned. My mother came. We had the date. We had the cake. We had everything. We took it. It's like she's been waiting to deliver. It is so specific. She's been waiting to say this to him this whole time. You know, yes, I 100% believe all of that's true.
Yeah. Awesome. And it just makes everything worse.
You convinced me
that he jilted her.
Yes.
Yeah, because you're right. It raises the stakes for everything.
Yeah.
And then the cake was filled with lemon custard. He says.
Yeah.
Love that delivery. So she turns away again.
Like lemon custard, like so. You know, it's just like what I love about I love specificity.
Yes.
You know. But I also love I think, I don't know, I was doing something, but we decided someone wanted me to say I'll have a Krilla and I'll have a Blintz And Blintz is funnier than Cruller.
Absolutely.
You know, like Blintz, so lemon custard, lemon. It's not even like, not everybody likes lemon. I don't know. I'm not a big lemon custard. I'm a chocolate buttercream type of person.
Fair.
I don't know. It's just.
We also know that Jerry Jewell was a firm believer in words with a K sound are funny, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I think lemon custard and not lemon filling or something, right?
Custard, yeah.
Custard,
Custard
what else did he say about words with a K sound?
There's I think it's, I want to say it's Sugith Varghese tells the story on the DVDs about how Bill said, like, pickle is funny, cucumber is funny, whatever. About how Jerry said this.
Jerry Jewell said, okay, Jerry on the Fraggle Rock DVDs.
On the Fraggle Rock DVDs, how he nice. Like that, like he was a very firm believer in that rule from the Sunshine Boys, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Spleen is funny. Bill and I were going, I was like, I start with the kidney. He goes, her spleen work was great. Right?
Yeah.
Spleen is a funny organ. Funny. Yeah.
Spleen is funny.
Big spleen. I was like, nicely done.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Yes, and
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And plus, when she said custard, she can call him a turd at the same time.
Oh, yeah. There's like maybe a hidden insult in there.
A hidden turd.
Yikes. Kermit addresses her as Mina, which is a cute nickname, I guess. He's trying to be endearing, but it's not working.
It's Mina. It's Benjamina.
Yeah. Mina.
Yeah. He says, fate has brought us together again. Well, actually, buried treasure and pirates brought in. She interrupts. Don't you start with me about pirates. After you jilted me, I took up with this Bernie Flint. The man was totally codependent. So speaking of words that are funny, Bernie is a name that the Muppets go back to a lot. That's a funny name, Bernie.
Yeah. What, Bernie Brillstein? Oh, Bernie.
Bernie Brillstein, Jim Henson's agent in real life, but also the agent played by Dom DeLuise in the Muppet movie.
Yeah.
So Kermit is surprised about this. He says, you and Captain Flint? And Piggy says, well, he was a pirate. I was a lady. You know the story.
And that's an incredible Frank Oz line delivery. I think because I think on the page, that line isn't much.
Yeah.
Right?
He's
a pirate, I was a lady.
For sure.
Right, but it's just Frank hitting every syllable so hard.
The word that stuck out for me was codependent.
Yeah.
You know, like she throws in a 12-step program.
Right.
I was like, wow.
Which is anachronistic for the time period, of course.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah. And also, of all the things that we know about Captain Flint so far, I wouldn't have assumed that he was codependent.
Yeah. That's her trying to make up an excuse for why he was bad or something. I don't know. It's just random. That's like, what?
Yeah.
This is one of those speeches where we find out more about Piggy than the person she's talking about.
That's true. And it's also good. It's very good, though, because we haven't seen her for so much of this movie.
Yeah.
She says, Smalley, he marooned me. Again, just Frank Oz is so... I feel like we've said this on every season of this podcast. He's so good at just wringing every drop of comedy out of every single word.
Yeah.
And he's doing it again here. She turns away and starts crying. And Kermit, I guess he wants to help, but he just doesn't know how to help. He says, this is all my fault. What have I done to you? And then that's when we hear some other voices. They're saying things like, oh, mushy, mushy, lovey-dovey, and making kissy noises.
Yeah.
And who is that? It's the pirates. So how long do you think they've been watching?
The whole time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I know this is so, I don't know. That's why I said this is one of those things where scenes start in the middle. But I love this one because we have like 3 different communities.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Right? There's always these different layers. The rats just like anytime a rat can bring you into the scene, like with God, it's so beautiful. They must have had just the best time, playing those rats in the foreground.
Mm-hmm.
But again, there's just like, it's almost like, it's like toy theater, where they drop different sets, but it's just like There's the lowest class. It's little, but little just because they're little.
They are.
And so I just like the different layers. But yeah, I think that if they pan out, if maybe Brian could have panned out and everything. So yeah, that's funny.
Right, because at some point the pirates sort of snuck up without Kermit and Piggy noticing that they were there, but we just don't know how or when they did that. Long John does a kind of sarcastic, slow applause and says, "Bravo, Captain." And that is pretty much the end of these 2 minutes. So we'll have to wait until next week to find out what happens next here with the pirates, with Kermit and Piggy. I have a couple of things from the June 1st, 1994 draft of the screenplay. When the rats show up in the draft, one of them asks another, "Have you got film in the camera, Sheldon? I love the Muppets." That's funny. They could have kept that in.
Yeah.
Sorry, film in the camera, Sheldon.
Yeah. I don't know. Sheldon didn't make the final cut.
I love that. I don't know why, because I'm like, Sheldon is such somebody like Sheldon and I are going on a cruise. We're very exciting. I hear they have really good baked goods. Like all the I feel like if this script was just about rats, it would be fantastic. You know what I mean? If
it's just the rats go on a cruise.
If the rats go on a cruise, and if they were the A story, and that everything else was the B and C story, wouldn't that be hilarious?
Yeah. That could be a short form series. Like, what are the rats doing behind the scenes while the Muppets are all, putting on a show or doing whatever they're doing? That would be really funny.
Did you see, how Pixar does, have you ever seen Bernie? From WALL-E?
The WALL-E, yeah, with the little...
Right? And then they do a film about what he's been doing this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just love that whoever, that the writing in this is that these rats have fully, the cruise, every single line is 100%, when one line can say so much. Is there film in that, Sheldon? Sheldon, don't forget the film. Is there film in that? Get a picture of me. Oh my gosh, you don't have the film. You know what I mean? And what I love about that is a lot of these ad libs, I think, if they're not written in the script, like Bill's right, is that you're really encouraged to play on set. Obviously, time is when directors are having, when we're all playing together, it's really hard to calm us down,
Sure, yeah.
But I think a lot of the lines that happen in improv, and even myself, sometimes if I know that they're coming up on something and and so Newhart said, I'm always trying to get in my dog's name.
There was a there was it was a car commercial, right? That Sesame did, and at the very beginning of it, Abby is talking about a dog named Newhart.
Yeah. Right. And one time I got I said, we were supposed to play ping pong or something about. I'm like, why don't we play corgi shuffle or something weird? But so I think a lot of these little lines that are coming from here, you grab a rat, you grab a rat, and you grab a rat, and then you name and play with the rats. Like Bill said, oh, I had this couple. This is who they were. So yeah. I could definitely obsess over the rats.
Yeah, no, they're such a fun part of this movie.
Yeah.
And so then this, on a completely different note, in the draft, the scene in the grotto starts a little bit earlier and adds some detailed descriptions to set the scene. It says, quote, "Delicious romantic music swells as the view descends to a waterfall. No, the view descends a waterfall to the nude silhouette of Benjamina, showering nymph-like behind a natural curtain of water. She hums the love theme from Muppet Treasure Island. Her modesty is maintained by plants and flowers strategically covering the right places at the right time as the view glides around her." And then a few lines down, it says, Kermit averts his eyes and then, quote, Her voluptuous shape coyly reacts. She steps gracefully from the water curtain, slipping behind a flowering bush, and emerges instantly in a provocative sarong, her hair dry and perfectly coiffed. End quote. Thoughts?
Wow. I'm just kind of like a little frightened that the reader is too into Miss Piggy.
That's kind of what I was,
some kind of issues or like something like that. But I also often think of like Dorothy Lamour. You remember from the Road movies?
Yeah, sure, of course. Mm-hmm.
Like those old school, like where you're caught seeing somebody, that you seeing something you shouldn't see. But what disturbs me more is the written word. Because he's writing this, and I was like, what?
Yeah,
Jerry,
which
who wrote this?
I mean, I don't know who's sitting at the keyboard writing this particular, but we've all been really eager to see Miss Piggy in this movie, so the writers were just really eager to see Miss Piggy.
Yeah, but I am so glad that didn't play out, because I was just like, I don't know how I'd feel about it.
I think a nude silhouette of Piggy would have been a little bit too much.
Too much. I agree.
Yeah.
I keep on thinking one of those fake, Mylar waterfall things like that. I mean, if it was like a show, but if it was actually in the wild, it would make me uncomfortable. Do you know what I mean? If it was a Broadway show where it was happening and things were placed in a Busby Berkeley thing, but to think that it would be in a no. That kind of, I'm so glad they cut that.
Yeah. So it just, that was interesting. And then the other thing, she repeatedly karate chops him over the course of the conversation in the draft, which I think it's good that they dropped that, because they just let the conversation play out with the back and forth. So it's better the way it is in the movie.
I'm glad that the karate chops are wordplay instead. Are the ladies of my mother, the cake, the what I was wearing, the dress, all those things. Those are karate chops.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. You're exactly right. So that's all I have for these 2 minutes. Anything else from these 2 minutes, Leslie, starting with you?
Oh my gosh. I'm still kind of winded from the last podcast. I'm so overwhelmed, with what Bill had to bring to it. So I got to find my brain back. It keeps coming back to me. It's like, this is such a feast for the eyes. It's just a beautiful storytelling. I mean, I do love, like, when they take on the classics. I loved, Muppet Christmas Carol. Again, there's layers and stuff. But I just think it's beautiful, and we talked about the torches, right? Like there's fire in the background, so there's torches. There's torches everywhere on the island.
Everywhere, yeah.
They didn't need to have 2 fire torches in the background, but they had that. It's just like, we want to make this alive. We want to, and the lighting is there, but the lighting that it's the time of night that it is, but then the torches sell it even more, that they're in this scene, this where they don't have. I just think that the attention to detail, the costuming is so gorgeous, and, I mean, I think all those things, even to the point where there's a rat wearing a banana shirt that you want.
Yep.
It's banana shirt. There's this tourist level of stuff.
Yeah.
And then she's wearing leopard skin, chiffon with feathers, so it looks totally like, like less of a negligee type of like fancy Mae West, right? Like a jungle Mae West type of thing, and he's still in his thing, and the fact that she's got the doubloons and the pearls, it's just. And then the pirates. So I just like, everything about this is lush, and they're in a jungle, and they're, and then you can see them when they cut, like in my mind, when they cut to the pirates, I can see them having come around and found them in this setting.
Yeah, because they were looking for the treasure. They weren't looking for. They don't even know Benjamina is there, as far as we know.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're doing paces and stuff, and they're going around, and all of a sudden they found this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. And you're right about the sets and the look of it all. It obviously this is has a decent budget, and it's a movie produced by Disney, but you really believe
found out they made the boat.
Yeah. But you really believe that this is outdoors on an island, even though it's all done indoors on sound stages.
Yeah, so beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't really have a lot to add to this because I feel like we've had such a marathon of joy with what we know, and also seeing knowing that Frank was playing Piggy, and also knowing that because he wasn't able to do those other characters, so when he was 100% in, he's relishing in this, playing this wonderful scene, which they do, and the chemistry, so that's fun.
Yeah, clearly. So Anthony, anything else on these 2 minutes?
No, that we covered all my notes.
Okay, great.
And we even did the strange case already.
We did, yes. Wow, we're so efficient.
That's
well,
right.
I'm still, I don't know if I can get that image of Miss Piggy bathing.
Oh no, sorry.
Oh no.
Kind of like what?
Maybe I should have given a warning, a content warning before I read that. So Leslie, we will ask you
when even Spamela Hamderson herself is horrified. They've gone over the line.
Goodness, really? Yeah, Miss Piggy's. Yeah. Too much.
So Leslie, we'll ask you one of our episode concluding questions, which is, what is your history with this movie? Do you remember the first time you saw it, and so on? Yes,
the history of this movie is amazing. This was the first premiere I went to. Just gotten the job on Muppets Tonight, and my sister went with me. I was so nervous because I'd never been. It was on the I felt like it was on the Warner Brothers lot. Was that where it been? Or was it Disney? What lot would it have been on?
Well, it's
a Disney movie,
but Disney movie.
I don't know.
Yeah, so it was on the Disney lot. I went shopping for the outfit. So I had this really cool brown hat with a brown feather.
Oh,
that looked kind of quirky, and I actually shopped for what to wear to a premiere because I never done it. Still kind of classic me, I don't think I carried a fish purse. I might have carried a decent purse. My sister went with me, and so because I had just gotten the job on the Muppets, I got invited to go to the premiere. So it was.
So had you started shooting Muppets Tonight yet?
Yeah, I feel like this. When did this come out?
Came out in February.
No, what year?
1996.
Yeah.
And Muppets Tonight premiered in March. So
yes. So yeah, 12/1/96 was. We started earlier on, but I just remember being able to go to this premiere, right? And it wasn't like a fancy premiere. It was a premiere for everybody who worked on the movie.
Okay.
Right? It wasn't like a step and repeat.
It wasn't like paparazzi everywhere.
No. It was the kind of premiere, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
It was the kind we're just all going to see the movie before anybody else sees the movie.
Yeah, that's cool.
But in my mind, it was like, we're going to premiere, so
sure.
People oh, whatever. And I'm like, I don't care. But we also got bags and stuff. And Paul, I have to ask Paul, he has a Muppet Treasure Island canvas bag. I got one as a premiere, as a giveaway, but Paul won his on Muppets Tonight. We had a closing picnic, and there was a big sandcastle contest on the beach, and Paul and Brad. Oh my gosh, why can't I think of Brad? I'm so tired right now. Brad Elliott, who does all the props and everything.
Okay.
and his team made a big Kermit octopus type of thing, and so they won. And he won them. They all won the Muppet Treasure Island bags. And the reason it's special to me and why I mention it is that when Paul and I were together, we would save all of our change in that bag, like all of our coins, all the pennies, everything. And it weighed like so much. And we took all the change and everything to the coin star and turned it in. And that's what we used to elope.
Wow.
Yeah. We had like $125 or $130 worth of coins and everything. And that's what we used to pay for our wedding in Vegas.
Wow.
That's great. I would not have predicted that would be the ending of that story.
That's
right. Same.
Special to me. I was just a brand new Muppeteer. I was really nervous. I even think that Kevin might have said something to me like, they're having a Muppet workshop in New York in a couple weeks. You should be there. And I was like, oh, okay. And like, I didn't have any money. I got a credit card so I could go to the workshop. I stayed with my friend. I think I stayed with Paula Pell because she had just started writing on Saturday Night Live.
Sure.
No kidding. Wow.
And I just didn't know what was happening. And it was one of those workshops where it was clearly one of those workshops. Everybody knew what they were doing. And I was so green. I was like, I'm so green that I don't know how I even am here. And so it was kind of like the beginning of my career. I was such a huge Muppet fan. And I just was seeing people that worked on the film, just even seeing people that worked on the film and, you know, like Tom Newby, and people talk about it. And, you know, I just couldn't believe I was there. So it's dear to me. And it's such a beautiful film. And I love the rats and I just loved all the imagination. And so I was just like, I can't believe I'm going to be part of this. So,
wow.
So that's how I saw it.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a great answer.
Yeah.
Okay, then with that, we will wrap things up for this week. Leslie, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
And as always, we want to thank Morgan Davy for our show's logo. Listeners, you can find Tough Pigs on the internet at toughpigs.com. We're all over social media, as well as TeePublic. It's occurring to me, have we mentioned, I think we must have mentioned by now, that we have on our TeePublic store a t-shirt of the Rat Tours Limited.
I think we did right when it came out. Yeah.
Okay, good. So you can look for that on the Tough Pigs TeePublic store there. Designed by our friend Megan Barbeau.
Previous guest on the podcast, Megan Barbeau.
Yes. You can chat with other Muppet nerds on the Tough Pigs Discord server. You can find me on Blue Sky at me Ryan Rowe and Letterboxd at Movies Are Neat. You can find Anthony on Blue Sky at Durwood Clapper and Letterboxd at Zippo Marxist. Leslie, remind our listeners where they can find you and your work online.
Yes, you can find Humor with a Heart on Instagram, and we do have a website. And if you go to the website, make sure you sign up for our newsletters because it'll let you know what we're doing. Ryan used to do my newsletters. I'm just going to say that he got that whole thing started for me. Thank you for always believing in my work, Ryan.
Of course, right back at you.
I know he's the best, and Lolly Lardtop, of course. So those are my two. Yes, I'm not the best at Facebook. I think I told you, so just don't go there now.
Okay. But yeah, everyone follow Leslie in all the places that you can follow her. And join us again next week for another episode of Moving Right Along. We'll see you then.
To talk about Muppet Treasure Island.
Yeah.
Island.